All right, here we go. Review quiz 8.6 to 8.8. So we're talking elevation, depression in 8.6, law of sines in 8.7, law of cosines in 8.8. You guys are making me nervous now. All right, so I think the hardest part about these is you got to draw a picture and get the setup. So quick little refresher. Angle of elevation is from the horizontal up, so that's elevation. And angle of depression is from a horizontal coming down, which is usually the one that people screw up a little bit. So number one, a tree is 40 foot tall. So let's just draw a little tree here. Here's the ground, 40 foot tall. We'll assume it's perpendicular. Casts a shadow 58 feet. So the sun's up here somewhere, hits the tree, and the shadow is down here on the ground. So this is our shadow. So shadow's 58 feet. The tree is 40 feet tall, and we need to find the measure of angle of elevation. So elevation will be down here, so we'll call that theta. So we need to figure out how many degrees that is. So here's my reference angle. I label it. This is opposite. This is adjacent. So that means I need to use tangent. So the tangent of theta is the opposite over the adjacent. Anytime you want to find an angle measure, you need to do the inverse. So I take the inverse of both sides, and basically I got to jam this into my calculator because I don't have these memorized. So second tan 40 divided by 58, boom. It's looking like about 34.59-ish. What do they want? Nearest tenth, so 1 decimal place. So 34.6 degrees. Number one, done. Moving on. Number two. Top of a lighthouse, 200 feet tall. So I don't really know how to draw a good lighthouse, so just going to do that. And it's 200. Maybe there's like a little window up there. No. And then there's a boat out here somewhere. And angle of depression is 25. So from the person standing up here in the lighthouse, okay, horizontal line from there would be straight across. So there's the horizontal, and if I look out and I see the boat right down to here, and let's just pretend, I don't know, go something like that. Not the best drawing, but bear with it. Most people are going to screw up and put the 25 here, but the angle of depression should go right there. So that's 25 degrees coming down from horizontal. So you got two options. I need to either get this angle or this angle. I like to just use alternate interior angles and just copy that 25 down here because I think it's easier and I don't screw up as much. I could also subtract from 90 if I wanted to and put it right there. You know, put a little 65 there. So it all depends on where you want your reference to be. But I'm always going to just use this 25 so I don't make a math mistake right there. So I'm going to take the point of view from the person down here by the boat. So I'm going to label the triangle according to him. So this is opposite. What do we want? Find the distance from the boat to the base. So this is what I'm after. So this would be adjacent. Looks like another tangent problem. So tan, I know who I'm standing on, 25 degrees. Opposite on top of adjacent. So this is just good old school SOHCAHTOA. When X is on bottom, you pull out Eddie Murphy and trade places. So X here, tan 25 down low. See what shakes out. 200 divided by tan 25. 428.9 feet. And that makes sense. I always kind of want to double check and see if that jives. And you have a 65-degree angle with a pretty big side across from him, 25 with a much smaller, so that jives. Usually if you make a mistake over here somewhere, you'll have a smaller side across from a bigger angle. Violation. All right, 8-7. First thing I recognize is I look at these triangles and I'm like, oh crap, there's no right angle. So if you have a right triangle, then you use SOHCAHTOA. All right, But when there is no right triangle, you're screwed. You can't use SOHCAHTOA. So my two options are either law of sines or law of cosines. I always try law of sines first because it's a lot easier. So law of sines, I'm looking for pairs. So I got an angle and a side. I have an angle, and this is the side I want. We want DF. So I'm going to call it little e because it's across from big E. So little e, and I set up my law of sines, which says the sine of 38 degrees in relation to the side opposite him should be the same ratio as the sine of 83, the side opposite him. Do a little cross multiplying action. 18 times the sine of 83 equals, I don't know, times the sine of 38. To find the I don't know, do the opposite of times sine 38. Divide, divide. And I'm just going to jam all this crap right here into my calculator. I'm not going to do it separately. I'm just going to jam it in there. 18 times sine 83. I like to hit equals. I don't know if you have to, but I do. Divided by sine of 38. 29.01. I better just see if that jives with my picture. So 83 is bigger than 38, bigger side. So I probably did it right. It's a pretty good chance that I did it right. No blatant violation going on. All right, next one. I need to find the measure of angle T. So I'm looking for this right here. I got a 61 across from a 28. So that looks good. And then I got a, I don't know, sine of big T across from 15. Little cross multiplying action again. 15 sine 61. 28 sine I don't know. I want to get the sine I don't know by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by that 28. And I'm going to end up the sine of some angle is some decimal between 0 and 1, hopefully, unless something went wrong. 15 times sine 61 divided by 28 is 0.46854 and a bunch of other crap. So to get T, the only way to go backwards, and when you know the ratio and you need the angle, is to use the inverse. So I'm going to inverse sine this crap right here. Now I'm not going to punch it in again. I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm going to use the answer button, which is on my calculator, it's on my negative key. So I'm going to go second sine, second answer. And it's looking like T came out to be about 27.9 degrees. So we could call it 28. And that looks good. To me, that looks legit for that angle right there. Alright, so that was 8-7. Now I go to the next one, and just by default, I always try the law of sines, but I got an issue. I got an angle with no side. No angle, but I have a side. No angle, but I have a side. I got no matches. So when that happens, I'm like, crap, this sucks. I got to do law of cosines. But I just always try law of sines first. Now that I've been doing the chapter for a while, I remember that if you have side angle side or side side side, that's when you have to use law of cosines. But like 3 weeks from now, I'll forget, and I just always try to do law of sines. So who do we want? We want BC, aka little a, because it's across from big A. You're little b, you're little c. So hopefully by now, or if not, I don't really care. You got a note sheet, but law of cosines. I need a, so I'm going to use the a equation. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of this dude. Remember, the ends always match. Big A. Jam all your crap in there. So b squared, 25 squared, minus 2 times those two numbers times again. Cosine of that dude. And again, there's nothing to nothing to solve on that side. Now it's gonna be a big number because this is a squared, but just put your calculator to work. I would not find this answer. Who cares what those individual answers are? Put this whole thing in at one time. Otherwise, you screw stuff up. 14 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 14 times 25 times cos 87. Bam. It's looking like 704.36 and some other crap. So what I need to do now is take the square root of both sides And again, I just use the answer key because that's already chilling in my calculator right now. Second square root, second answer, done. About 28. Double check it. Does that make sense? Well, I got no other angles to go off of, but it does look like the biggest side. So nothing jumping out saying it's blatantly wrong. All right, last one, extra credit. This one must be a tad tougher. I think I need a little more room, so I'm going to get rid of this. Sorry, you have to pause the video and go back if you lost that. Sucks to be you. Side, side, side. So I need angle C, so this is what I'm after. Now just looking at this thing, it's somewhat close to a 60-60-60. You know, if it was equilateral and all three sides were identical, they would all be 60. Since he's the biggest side, I know this angle is slightly bigger than 60, so if it was like an SAT, I might be able to just kind of peek and steal the right answer without doing a lot of work, just knowing he's the big dog of the triangle. So I'm guessing him to be somewhere around 70 or so. So that's just kind of a ballpark. But if I need angle C, I got to use the C equation. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of C. Now this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have everything but that dude. He's going to be what I don't have. So let's label people. Little c, little b, little a. I got 25 squared, 21 squared, plus 22 squared, minus 2 times 21 times 22 times cosine of I don't know. So my goal, my ultimate goal down here is to get I don't know cos by itself. So I need to get rid of all this crap. So let me show you how to do it. To get rid of this, I'm just going to subtract from both sides. So I'm going to have 25 squared. I'm going to subtract this 21 squared from both sides. You gone. I'm going to subtract the 22 squared. You gone. Now this is all multiplication. Negative 2 times 21 times 22 times. So to get rid of all that times, I have to divide to get rid of all that crap. So I need to divide by this. So now you're gone. So now I'm chilling with just the cosine of C on that side. Gotta pause for a second. This is an emergency. Zoopy had popcorn on his floor. He needs a sweeper back. So that's what interrupted us here. So you gotta be careful punching this crap in because order of operations, I would put a big old fat parentheses around the top and another big old fat parentheses around the bottom and hit division in the middle just to be safe. So let's do this. I got 25 squared minus 21 squared minus 22 squared parenthesis divided by parenthesis and negative 2 times 21 times 22, another big fat parenthesis. Bam. I get 0.3246 and a whole bunch of other crap. And now to get C, anytime you want to get the angle, you got to inverse it. So cos, because it's the law of cosines, cosine of my answer, second cos, second answer, money, 71.05, so roughly 71 degrees. And hey, earlier I said I thought it was going to be 70, so I was pretty doggone close. Alright, that's going to be exactly like the quiz tomorrow. 2 elevation depression, 2 law of sines, 2 law of cosines, and a little bit extra credit there. See you.